Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Tanya Penny. I'm an occupational therapist and vibrant body and abundant life coach, also author of Connecting with the Divine You. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about emotional healing. So this is a little mini lesson for Connecting with the Divine You. You are divine, part 2 in my community this month. I know some of you are in my program, whether it's the Connecting with the Divine You or Vibrant Body and Abundant Life Journey year-long program. And some of you are watching this in one of my free communities, either on YouTube or in my email community, maybe on Facebook community. So however you are watching this, welcome. I'm glad you're here. So emotional healing. Why do we need that, number one? Well, because many of us growing up were taught that certain emotions were good and okay to feel, and certain emotions were not okay to express and feel. So what happens when we have an emotion as a child and our parents aren't either accepting or capable of really helping us to feel and release an emotion? And again, we're not blaming our parents because they didn't know how to do this either. You know, many of us did learn how to stuff our emotions growing up, whether it was food or alcohol or smoking or TV, social media, working or just staying busy. So we usually saw unhealthy patterns growing up from one or both parents, usually both. And again, we're not blaming them. It's just that they didn't learn how to do it either. So what happens when we don't know how to feel and express emotions in healthy ways is we use an unhealthy way. That actually doesn't help to release the emotion. You have to feel it and release it in order for it not to get stuffed and stored in the body. So let's say that you, as a child, were angry, but you learned that anger wasn't okay to have in your house. That would be one of the emotions that was not okay to express in my house unless you were my father. Nobody else could express anger. So what I did is I stuffed it. And one of the big ways that I learned to stuff food in my family, the stuff in my family was with food and TV. So that anger didn't go away. The anger got stored in my body. Another emotion that I had a lot of growing up as a child was fear. Didn't have help feeling and releasing that. Sadness was another emotion that was not allowed in my house. So what happened with these emotions, and what likely happened with yours too, is you stuffed them in one of the ways that I mentioned before. And then they just kept on building up, getting stored in the body. And eventually what happens is over time, these emotions will come out as they build up as a symptom in the body and eventually a full-blown illness. Okay, so if you haven't watched my video yet on Your Body Never Lies, Your Body's Messages, definitely go back and listen to that as well, because these are both very connected. So when we stuff our emotions, we don't feel and release them, eventually they're going to come out as a symptom in the body. So many of us go into adulthood not realizing we didn't learn how to deal with our emotions in a healthy way as a child, so we continue to stuff. So one of the big connections I'm going to, I guess, share and make here is, you know, the MS that I experienced, multiple sclerosis. One of the big emotions that's tied into that is fear. So different emotions will tend to come out in different ways, different symptoms, different illnesses in the body. Another example is if you stuff a lot of guilt, it will often come out as pain. If you have a lot of, I would say, self-criticism, which the emotion is typically self-hatred, overwhelm, then headaches and migraines are common. So there's lots of different correlations, but they're still generalizations. So in a nutshell, you stuff it and it eventually will come out as a physical symptom and or an illness in the body. So one other piece to this, and then I want to teach you a tool to help feel and release your emotions, is that oftentimes many of you watching this are empathic or sensitive empathics. And we often take on other people's emotions. So we're not just stuffing our own. We often take on other people's emotions too and aren't aware of it. Maybe you are now. Maybe you're just becoming aware of it now. But just being around people that are having strong emotions, even if they're not showing their strong emotions and they're feeling it internally, we feel things and we take it on. So I have a lot of clients, myself included, that had to learn how to feel and release my own emotions, but then the emotions I take on that are other people's. Okay. So one tool that I like to use, a simple tool that I often like to start my clients with, is using the breath to release an emotion. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to have you close your eyes, unless you're driving, of course. And I want you to pick an emotion that you know you either definitely stuff, or emotion that recently you felt, or maybe you're even feeling right now. So it could be anger, sadness, grief that you're stuffing, insecurity. I think I said fear, overwhelm, anxiety. Yeah, shame and guilt are often those that we stuff. So pick an emotion, and I want you to think of a time, a memory when you were experiencing that emotion. And allow yourself, invite that emotion into your body. Continue to breathe. And notice how and where you feel that emotion in your body. And you're just going to put your hand there. Maybe it's on your chest. Maybe it's on your belly. Maybe it's on your leg. So just putting your hand where you feel that emotion in your body. If you feel it in more than one place, you can use two hands. You can't do this wrong, but just continue to breathe and feel the emotion for a moment. You're just showing up for it, letting it know you're here, just like a healthy, unconditionally loving parent would do. So you've acknowledged the emotion, you've shown up for it, and now you want to help it to release from the body. So as you breathe out, think about breathing out, releasing the emotion. And as you breathe in an opposite emotion. So if it was sadness, joy, anxiety, you'd bring in peace. Shame or guilt, you might breathe in acceptance. Insecure, breathe in security. If it was anger or hate, it might be breathing in love. You can't do this wrong. So again, feeling and helping to release the original emotion, the quote unquote negative one, with the breath, breathing it out. And then breathing in the opposite emotion. And doing that several times. Acknowledging, feeling, and releasing the quote unquote negative. And breathing in the opposite positive. And doing that until you feel a shift. So that might take 30 seconds, it might take a minute, but until you feel some kind of a shift. So this is going to help you to acknowledge. We have to first acknowledge it. Number two is accept it by placing your hands on it and being with it for a little bit and breathing with it. You might even say, I'm here for you. And then moving into releasing it from the body. So this is just one simple tool of many that I teach to help to heal and release your emotions. And if you want to go deeper, there's several ways to do that below this video. If you like this video, please feel free to like it. If you want to share it with somebody that you know could probably use it, which is most people on the planet, feel free to do that. And yeah, this is something I would recommend doing at least once a day. And this will help both emotions that are coming up on a daily basis or emotions you know you've stuffed since childhood. If you've had trauma or abuse, definitely you've got fear stuffed in your body, you've got shame stuffed in your body, probably guilt, sadness. Yeah, so this can help both. It can also help you release from the body any emotions you took on that are somebody else's. So awesome, you guys. Have a great rest of your week. And I will see you next month where we're going to be moving into Connect with the Divine You, Part 3, Beliefs and Connecting with Something Bigger. All right, bye.